This is the Haunted Files Unplugged, where the lights are low, the stories are raw, and the truth is stranger than fiction. Join Mike Delcoro, Eric Vanderlaan, and their special guests as they dive into the dark corners of the paranormal. From hauntings and cryptids to UFO encounters and everything in between. No filters, no scripts, just pure, unfiltered conversation from the world beyond. You're listening to the Haunted Files Unplugged.
Holy motherfucker!
Wait a second. Okay,
There we go.
Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. I did, and we have an amazing show. I'm Eric Vanderlaan. And we're here with the Haunted Files Unplugged radio show, and I'm your host, and my other host over here.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike Delcoro, and we got a great show for you guys tonight. I'm super excited. It's going to be very, very interesting. And I'm going to let Eric kind of tell you what we are getting into.
We're getting freaky tonight. We're gonna dive in deep into a topic that we've never dove into. Make sure I use proper English there. We have Dave Metcalfe. He's Clearwater, Florida.
St. Pete, I think.
St. Pete, Florida. He's going to be opening an Aliens a Relic Museum. Grand opening is May 1st. So we are honored to have him tonight, and we're going to talk about some crazy stuff that will blow your mind. And Mike, it's perfect timing with all the stuff that's happening in the news with the scientists and the general missing.
A lot of stuff going on out there. And you know, it's one thing I've always been extremely fascinated by UFOs and extraterrestrials and all this thing, and, you know, in space. And if you look out there and you close your eyes and you go outside at night and you look up and you sit there and ponder, and you could say that you think that we're the only living thing that's out there in the infinite universe, then there's something wrong, my friend. But let's bring in David here.
Wait, you're jumping the gun.
I'm not. I know you got it. I know you got one, buddy. I know you got one, baby, every day, every time. So I was going to say, let's go ahead and roll that little intro that you got. Okay. And then we'll bring David in.
Don't get me excited. Then I start
I don't want any beating. Don't beat me. Don't beat me.
And stuff. All right, here we go. Bam. I like the new thing on the bottom with the chat. Now we don't have to pop them up anymore manually.
I can still pop them up there. Anything that's super interesting. But yeah, you can follow along in the chat there.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's bring in our man, Dave Metcalfe. And bam.
Welcome
to the show.
Hey, Eric. Hey, Mike. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure, man. Really excited to share what we've been revealing.
And you know, I've been following you for I've been following you for a little while, and then I saw that you were opening up the museum, and I thought it'd be a great way, you know, great time to get you on the show, and so you could discuss a little bit about yourself, what you do, what you've been finding, and you know, and promote your museum as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I guess I could just go into my background, kind of.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely.
Where it all started, you know. So I'm ex-DOD, so I've been born and raised on military bases, 18 years around the world. Started off in the Philippines, Clark Air Force Base, looking at F-4 Phantoms and A-10s back in the days, of course, old tech. Been fascinated with aviation. Even to see a SR-71 take off at Canadian Air Force Base, Japan, was a sight to see. And that was before we had satellites, and even saw one land, the emergency landing at Tyndall Air Force Base, in Northwest Florida. And since then, really fascinated with aviation. But during the age of 12, my father being in the Air Force got me into Roswell, man. I mean, things on TV at the time, we only had 5 TV channels or so. So you flipped to one of them and you picked the hottest thing on. It was Roswell. And from there, graduated to, Bob Lazar, and then Linda Moulton Howe, Leslie Kean, George Knapp, looking at all the stories, all the way through, just fascinated with everything, right? Fire in the Sky. And
oh man, that movie screwed me up when I was a kid.
oh my gosh, it just made you think,
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's
in that craft, and feeling how Travis felt. It's just, gosh, you couldn't imagine, man.
Yeah.
Now realizing maybe my life is paralleling into that type of same thing, which has just been crazy, man. It really has.
And just hearing some of these people that were abducted and hearing like them going through hypnosis about what they went through, like hearing the live hypnosis, that's what scares me.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a friend that does Eric, help me out here, does hypnotherapy.
Oh yeah,
Connie, and we've had her on the show, and she's had multiple abduction cases that she's dealt with here in Florida. And
she's in Tampa.
Yeah, and she's like, there's
she's
no
in Tampa.
way. Yeah, and she said there's no way to
connect. So when we get off the show, if you could connect me with her information, gosh, it's just, I'm so torn between wanting to do this, but like I have a film producer that reached out to me this last 2 weeks and saw the story of the museum and everything, and has probably got 16 hours. In fact, they were just recording us doing a podcast on Carl Crusher around 4:30 today. And he's basically getting every bit of the story from beginning all the way to the museum grand opening. They're still filming. And the crazy part is, there's one part, we'll get into it, to where I went to the doctor and had something looked at in my ear after I had, I guess, an incision back in December, the end of December. Now, the crazy part is, it was when I first started observing what I call the surveillance orbs. And they're watching me, in a sense, watch them, because our camera equipment, we've had it out on the beach house. I've got a beach house here in St. Pete Beach, so it's about maybe 100 yards to the beach, private beach, and it's looking out over the Gulf. And so February 2024, I started capturing these orbs over the water. And that's when it all started. I was already in the house for 3-4 months, man. And I was going on the balcony all the time. I was like, hell, you're in a beach house, screw TV. We're going to look at the water and the beach, right? I mean, that's what you do. And so I was out there all the time. Never saw anything. Never saw anything in my life. And I'm 54 right now, all the way up to February of 2024. That's where it all started.
Oh, okay.
Really? Wow.
Now, I was part of a mass sighting when I was 21 in Atlanta, Georgia. And crazy enough, I remember in South Carolina when I was growing up, that I swear there was a shadow in my room. I asked my parents about it all the time. Still to this day, it was eerie to me. And so you kind of look at those abduction scenarios and you go, holy crap, did something like that happen to me? And what is this thing in my ear, man? So the way it only appeared after I realized they were watching me. A week later, maybe a few days later, like you get a paper cut and you feel it, the sweat on a paper cut and the sting of it, it was behind my ear. And I was like, what is behind my ear? And that's burning like that. And so I had a friend that was here, he looked at it and took pictures of it. And we have pictures of it and stuff like that as well. Shows an incision behind my ear. And now here we are in we're April 20th, and there's no pimple, there's no blackhead, there was nothing. He tried popping it like weeks later. I was like, stop, it hurts. And since then, it's just, you would think like any cut, you get a scab, it heals, it's done pretty fast, usually 3-4 weeks or something. This thing is still there. They pushed me to get the x-rays. I really didn't care. I was like, look, if these things put something in me, man, it's better than our U.S. government tracking me. So it's probably better. And who knows, maybe they're healing me with something. Or when the cataclysm comes, they'll pull me off the planet. I do not know. But either way, and there's certain things that have happened, like these orbs that you see on TV and our infrared that are moving all the time now, every night. Has graduated 2 years now, over 2,200 videos, time, date stamped on my iPhone, along with my 4K camera that we have all the footage. And it graduated when I met the archaeologist, Arturo Hernandez, in February. He reached out to my channel and said, gosh, I love what you're doing and I'd love to meet you. And so where this basically went, long story short, was I used to come here from Mexico 4 different times. And I've gotten now 30 some odd or 40 relics now. We cleared customs, sent over. University of Georgia testing, man. You know, again, on the organic matter around this underground cavity that I found by LiDAR sonar 3 years ago. So he's been on this dig site, and through this underground den or cavern, 30 feet of alien carvings on the wall in Mexico City, Tula region. But like you saw and showed at the beginning of the channel, that one relic, that 1,000-pound relic that he calls the portal, had to be pulled out 30 feet underground with an excavator. There's no way that can be fake, man. One, it's sitting in their backyard. We fund their expedition. We didn't buy it. It's still sitting there. The shipping alone coming from Mexico is $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, you know, but we paid so much in thousands of having customs clear the pieces, ship them over, do the testing, and going with other people that have been deep in this for a while, this Tula region and the relics that are coming out of this. But we've been using them for our active testing with the UFOs, with the orbs, and they respond to them, man. We'll put them out there along with crystals. We've done vibration tests, laser tests in the last 2.5 years, social tests with people out there talking with us. And not only was it just a night event, because you see it started as a night event. We record these orbs over the water, which we've now mapped, timed. It's in my book, Friend or Foe. I actually created a book called Friend or Foe. It's on Amazon. Has 200 QR codes that actually show. That was Joe Fells who actually reached out to me, and he's discovered them. Joe actually discovered the pieces himself just in December, and then met Arturo. He was the one who reached out to me along with Arturo, and then they actually both came here. And Joe's been on an incredible journey too since then of realizing what's bigger in the universe. So they opened Arturo up to me. The relics came over, and since then we've been catching these orbs on the infrared. So the energy that these relics have are just phenomenal. And I'll give you a glimpse of just some of them that we have here that are on the ground. We actually have 40 pieces. I'll walk you around. There's even some over here. We've cleaned them up. I mean, this is some of the stuff we have. Like this is a UFO that we had to getting in. This piece is so heavy. It's like 70, 80 pounds. Has a pilot inside.
Oh, wow.
The disc goes over top of it. Now, I have 17 theories as we get into a lot of this. This is a ship that came in. This is heavy as hell, the ship we just got. And it's got all these carvings that you see on it. And our studies have taken us down the rabbit hole to where you guys remember the Rendlesham Forest incident. Look how that top goes on. That's a pilot in there that sits in there, an alien pilot, man. But when you look at this Sanskrit writing, okay,
it's amazing how intact that is.
It's amazing, man. Look at this. This is an 80-pound crystal skull. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it almost crushed my foot. The carvings that you see in it, found in Mexico City, of aliens, of what we've learned in Egypt, this Thoth and Ra, and these different characters, and the scarab, man. The scarab that we have a stone skull here. And then we even have tablets that glow. They have some sort of material on them
Really?
that's been tested. And if you see that, we were looking at the Anunnaki in the story, a lot of the Anunnaki, and you've got pine cones, you've got the Anunnaki in here.
Yeah, that's
the pineal gland. I actually have
exactly.
coins with this numeric system. Coins, man. We have a box of money.
So just to slow down a little,
site.
some of the listeners out there, if you don't know about the pine cone symbol, that alone is super interesting. That you will see it in religious texts, you will see it in ancient texts, you'll see it all over. And what the pine cone represents is the pineal gland, because it actually looks like a pine cone, and that is all over. And that's the gland that produces DMT, and that's all over everywhere. Like I said, religious texts, artifacts, everything. What do you got there?
Well, so these were the staffs that these beings would carry. Believe it or not, I mean, this thing is huge, man. And these are really kind of boulders. These are stones that they carved. And the archaeologists and even scientists going to this say basically on how the cuts were made. And I've been in construction as well in my past, used to be a developer. We've done homes and stuff like that. They're literally saying, because a lot of the stuff with our modern tools, if we were to put a Dremel to that or drills, it would crack this. Some of these pieces are so thin and you wonder how they get to it. Lasers have come up so many times, guys, lasers. And it makes sense because when you look at these relics and you actually see the flying saucers, the flying craft with these lasers, it shows they dominated that era. They had their flying craft. They were going around. They just didn't show Egypt alone, like this obelisk right here. They didn't show Egypt alone this stuff. They showed the world this stuff. And they were basically sharing their influence around the world. We have spears. We have calendar systems. This one, we have a crystal skull with that one there. We have the purse or the satchel of knowledge that we all see. This piece right here alone is like 40 pounds, man. These are all stone carvings. And the cool part is we hit them with a black light, a lot of these pieces, and they have a glow to them. So, and the scientists can't figure that out either as far as, how that happened. But what really is amazing is, a lot of these pieces, like going back to our staff, you can see this piece. Okay, supposedly that's Toth on there. Now, this is just the cover to this piece down here. So this goes on
has
top.
Has there ever been any record of Anunnaki or like the ancient Sumerians, like the other text in Mexico, like you showed?
Yes, these pieces have all come from Mexico. The Sumerians
prior to your findings here.
Yes, yeah. For the last 10 years, they've been discovering things. But Arturo himself, see, that's the alien staff I was talking about that they carry. It's almost like a rank, it seems. Like you would think military having stripes on them. And that king staff was the individual that reigned that area. But going back to the answer to your question, yes. It's really gone back about 10 years. You can see the orbs are getting crazy. They react. They react to these relics. This is all on infrared.
Is that facing out to the Gulf? So you're like right on the Gulf?
Oh, yeah. I'll show you. I'll actually go out. But yeah, so to answer your question, they have been finding them. But, when you actually find the den with 1,000-pound relic, only found a cavity found by sonar and LADAR, and you see the whole story. And that's what our museum's going to show. This is my camera that's on the wall. So I have a high-definition 4K Cortex that it's just infrared capabilities are just out of this world. And then if we look this way, you can see my deck where I'm shining the light. Let's see if I can widen it for you guys. There we go. So let's see if you can see that or not. But that is looking out over the Gulf. It's kind of hard to see. There's my deck. And so I've got a big stretch deck here. And then what I do is I put, I bought an iPhone 16 just to sit in this on this tripod here, and it always films. And then what we've been doing is we've been catching through the seagrass here, the COs, those surveillance orbs. They've been coming all the way up under my house, and it's amazing. We've got them on camera to where, we've gotten so many guys that have come up to me, and this goes into after a year of research. We started upping our testing to laser tests, frequency tests. People have been giving us suggestions to using crystals, which they're definitely interested in, which kind of goes back to what we see on the pieces later on. The relics came. So
Eric and I are
just the crystals and things that I got.
Eric and I are paranormal investigators, so we travel around. We have a show on ParaFlixx, and
Okay.
we use a spirit box a lot, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Sweeping radio is originally designed as a Frank's box to communicate with extraterrestrials.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
wondering, I was wondering, and you can get them SB7 or something like that. They're like $80. I would be interested to run a SB7 at your house and see what you can pull up.
Come on down, man. That's all I got to say. You guys are right in my neck of the woods anyhow.
I'll cook some barbecue right there on your porch.
Brother, we'll do it.
I'll cook some stuff to grill.
I got a water sports company, so that's really how I was able to. Yeah, it's how I was able to build this up, man. I had nothing 8 years ago. Failure, came off the 2008 market crash in real estate, right. Rebuilt it all from one kayak to 60 now. And awesome. We do a glass bottom kayak tour company all the way down to the Keys called Sharky. And so that was great. And that's how we kind of got into, my guys started seeing stuff at night because we do tours at 8 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night. And they would take people out on the water with these.
You do the luminescence stuff?
No, no, our lights are high powered LED, like 10,000 lumen. So they light up the seafloor and we go in shallow areas. So we do every night. We override bioluminescence. And then we actually attract fish in where my guys.
I'm going to have to hit you up for that.
Oh, brother.
That sounds fun.
Oh, you guys are on the tour for free. Seriously. And then, the museum opens. We were shooting for May 1st, but it really looks like May 15th. But we got a lot of people coming in town, probably Carl Crusher coming in town for the grand opening. We're trying to get Anna Paulina Luna down. The reason we're trying to get Anna Paulina, and you guys got to come down for that if you can, because it's, the grand opening. And my partner, Robert, owns the Plaza Beach Resort. He also owns the bank building we put the museum in. It's funny because people are like, oh, gosh, you got all this rent and all this. Man, we don't pay anything. It's like, it's a free building for us to house our relics. And guess what? It's got a vault in it. So that's where we keep our at. It's like a vault. How could you get better to keep some of the most valuable?
We would definitely like to come up, but we're going to be
absolutely. And then bring your gear, because I'll show you guys tonight. I've had 35 people on the water and actually showed them the orbs. You'll see them. I'll show them to you.
And
videos and everything from the 911 call that we made and shopping, watching a police chopper chase 40 of them. We got all this on video, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. MUFON investigations 4 times. They're in my book, Friend or Foe, All Unknown. Then when I did that book, I decided to put 200 videos, a QR code. So when you read the chapter, then you get to click the QR code and watch it.
Oh, yeah, very interesting.
In the beach house during Hurricane Helene. So Hurricane Helene and Milton, remember the big hurricane that just blew us out over here? We were all flooded in October of 2024. I got all that on film where water was coming by. Interesting enough, on both hurricanes, the orbs disappeared for 4 days. Each hurricane. 4 days, and they came back. Where did they go? It almost makes you think, wow, if there's a cataclysm, that's how they can survive. The orbs itself are, I believe, what I call the classic orb we see with our own eyes, not these ones on infrared right now, moving and changing into all types of things we'll get into. But those ones that we catch over the water, we did tours. Even under my company, that you can look it up. It's Sharky's UFO Tours. You can look up type in UFO Tampa. My company comes up. We saw them so much that I said, we're going to show people.
The Skyway Bridge is.
It's the same thing that
orb lights went underneath it.
It's the same thing that Bledsoe's seeing, those orbs, but they act differently here. They're getting aggressive with our aircraft. I used to be a pilot. I used to fly and have to deal with calling Eglin Air Force Base towers when I go over 1,000 feet.
Well, we got a story to tell you about one of our investigations in Lake Okeechobee.
Oh, God. Yeah. Dude, I'd love to hear it. I love what you guys are doing, man. That's just killer. Because we're kind of in the same realm. We're on that journey, right? We're trying to investigate this stuff, and our enemy honestly now is AI. It's not just the government.
Because now nobody wants to believe any of your stuff because they think everything is AI.
It's AI.
Is one thing.
Right. I'll grab this real quick to show you. That's why not only did I show you the 4K high def camera that I have out there that we put in, but at the same time, I went from an iPhone 12 first. That's where it started. And then I go, man, I ran out of video. And so I went to an iPhone 16 and bought that just like 5 months ago and maxed that out. Everything you see here on this phone, it's all time date stamped, man. Everything. And there's over 2,300 videos that I have.
All these photos you sent me. of the lights.
Yes. Yeah, that's just some of them, man. I mean, the biggest thing that I would say that we've captured here, you can see it right there at the top, 2,300 and whatever time date stamp that we have on there. And
so I want to throw this out there for you real quick and and you tell me. Oh man, so I was just about to tell you, I was a boat captain for years, and I spent a lot of time on the Atlantic coast. And we'd go sword fishing, and we do night fishing, and you know how it is. You get out there, and you
I used
don't
to be
have
in commercial fishery. I know exactly what you're talking about.
so you have no light pollution,
no light. Yep.
And I would see these orange orbs, like huge.
That's
orange,
it.
like
That's
what you're
what we're
showing,
talking
exactly
about.
what you're
This
showing
right
right there. It would
Yep.
look like a fire, and it would flicker. And these are and I would also see them come, change direction 90 degrees, go straight down, go to the water's edge, like in the horizon, come straight back up, and then continue. And I'm thinking the only craft that I know that could do that is a helicopter, right? Can come one direction, drop straight down, go back up,
Right.
elevate. And then, but where I'm
Or
looking
like a
at,
Hawker Harrier or something like that.
yeah, and I'm looking out. I'm already 12 miles offshore, and I'm looking out. The next thing is the Bahamas, and there's no helicopters
Oh
that
man,
are
yeah,
that
and
have
you're
that.
out there in the some deep water too, man.
Yeah, oh
You're
yeah,
out there in the
we're
Bermuda
sword fishing,
Triangle.
so
Dude, you're actually in the Bermuda Triangles, or you're
absolutely.
fishing, man.
Exactly,
You think
yeah.
about it.
And I've done a lot of trips. I did the trip actually to Bermuda from
Wow.
in a
That's
sport fish
amazing.
boat. So
Yeah.
I took a boat from Bermuda back to, so the whole time it was 3 days of chugging, and at night we'd slow down to 10 knots, which is like 9 miles an hour
Right.
at night, because to conserve fuel and
Sure.
to avoid any hitting something at night.
Hitting
It's
a
been,
piling that's floating out in the water.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Because
Yeah,
we were 300 miles in either direction in the middle of nowhere.
Sure.
So yeah, I've seen some really strange shit at night out on these boats, and with no explanation, because a helicopter doesn't have fuel range to get out to where I was seeing these things.
Wow.
And with the
Yeah.
orange glowing orb type, which
Yes.
Eric just showed right there in that
You're
picture.
calling it, man. It's in
Yeah.
that one, actually, the one that you saw wasn't an actual orb. Okay. That one was captured. This is how crazy this stuff gets, guys, in this 2-year journey, 2.5
What
year
about this
journey.
one right here? What's this?
That showed up. Okay, guys, this is where we kind of feel our path has taken us to a divine type of destiny, in a sense, what we're doing. Arturo, who reached out to me, and Joe Fells, and we found these relics. He's been on this dig site. He really got with me to kind of, he was interested in what I was doing on research to kind of just see what I thought about what he was seeing. And wow, man, I mean, it's like the things that match up on the relics to what we're finding present day, guys, which will blow your mind, like the Rendlesham Forest, okay, with Airman Pennison and Lieutenant Colonel Hall, and those guys finding that craft, literally coming close enough to touch it. Well, the things that they saw on there, those symbols, and he remembers, Airman Pennison clearly remembers, Sergeant Pennison, about what he saw when he was up to that craft, the Rendlesham Forest incident in the UK. And those symbols that he put on paper, man, we have some matching on our relics.
Wow.
Now,
So
we want to go deeper, we get into the Boogosphere. And we'll go into that in a second, because that's what's really the thing that we released today that is completely mind-blowing. But to answer your question on that cross, when Arturo was here the very last time, and he was sitting on the deck, and we were just waiting to put him back on a plane a few hours later, that was sunset. And there was an object that came down, and it turned into every one of those pictures I sent you from the chip code that looks like a pink chip
the
code.
same object?
It's the same thing, man. So it transformed into
Wow.
all these things. That's the code or chip that we think's like some chippers, that's what it looks like. But then it turned into a green one and a yellow one. And so we realized, wow, we were almost in tears, because wow, you were just leaving, and this is a symbol that's coming to us before we leave. And we're both of Christian faith. And so, as we get these relics, I mean, we pray, we bless them, ask us, because again, I mean, as you guys know, there's hitchhikers that can be attached to some of this stuff coming out of the ground. From these powerful entities, you guys know this. And so we bless
Oh.
them when they come out of the ground, and
I do the same thing before and after.
we bless them before they're even open here. And
Yeah.
so, and there's been some incidences that we have seen, like footsteps, and it just makes you think, you know, like, whoa, keep an extra eye out and see if something happened. If we
Anything going on in your house with all those
you know,
artifacts?
gosh, we haven't seen anything that we would, but there was one time when as I was doing my testing out there with lasers and flashlights and different things that we'll do, frequency tests, I decided to use a candle one time, and I'll never do it again. But when I took the candle out there and I lit it, and once I did that, man, something 10 feet away in my house fell over really loud. Really? And it was like a gym mat that we lay on the wall. And I looked at it, I was like, man, that thing sits there forever and it doesn't fall. And I kept, you know, when you put something up and you even take your hand and you push it and see how strong it is to push it over. And I thought that was very interesting that that just smacked down like that.
Yeah.
Now, since then, I've heard footsteps. My fiance heard a noise outside that sounded like somebody was moving a chair or something. But and we haven't
often. Is it often that happens?
No, you know, maybe this was being noticed during a week, 2-week time frame, and you'd hear something like that. So, you know, people say with these orbs, are they spiritual? You know, I've gone out there and I can show on video. I have so many tests. When you guys come down, you'll be blown away with all the stuff. I'm trying to hook it up from my iPhone, and where I can actually start showing it on the screen, which we'll get done this week. I have techs working with me and all types of stuff. We're actually getting the UFO DAP in here too, man. The AI equipment that zooms in, that Josh Gates had on his channel, Expedition X, where his team used it to zoom in, and it uses that AI identification to tell us through FAA database what it is, plane, helicopter.
We should get you connected with Lee, our friend Lee from the Gilchrist County Jail. He's in Trenton near Gainesville. It's a haunted prison that goes back to the early 1900s, and he has a system set up there with IR cameras and infrared, so it's always recording
and thermal.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And he streams it live.
Well, here, man, I'd love for him to come down here because you know
he's got a.
I've done 4 MUFON investigations, and
he would invite you to his place so you can check out his thing.
Man, I sent five of my videos out to MUFON, 4 different investigators. One said one video was inconclusive, but the other 4 were all unknown. Even one guy was a scientist from Minnesota Key. So I was like, wow. Okay, then Fox 13 came over and did an interview on me, Fox 13 News, and they were like, wow, okay. And then I reached out to Anna Paulina's UAP task force in Washington, D.C., and I reached out to them and said, hey, you guys got to see this. Because what's crazy is I've got a UFO fleet that I captured during the day at 2 p.m. That was a MUFON investigation, actually, by one of the investigators. But, you know, it was, and that was just one. She's in South Florida, in fact. But I sent them to the UAP task force, Anna Paulina Luna's office. And they called me 2 days later. And they said, hey, yeah, send it to Samuel Luna. Here's his email. So I have all that. I have screenshots. I have the emails that were sent out. What I did was I sent them, what we'll talk about are the portals that we've captured over the water, the size of football fields like we hear about in the Book of Enoch. I mean, unbelievable, man. Those are probably the most unbelievable things I've captured in the 2-year time. 5 times I've captured those portals.
So can you tell the folks what Enoch is for people who don't know?
So this is the hidden book, right? The Book of Enoch that goes back to
the Egyptians, right?
Yeah. So it goes back before our Bible, and supposedly the Catholic Church banned the book. It didn't include it because it was too advanced, I guess you could say, with the things it would talk about. And, you know, like angels and orbs and portals, like the things we're seeing basically now. You know, they didn't want that to be seen. But what's
Star
cool
of David?
What's that?
I've heard some people say the Star of David could have been.
It's amazing you just said that. Star of David actually represents, if you think about it, it's a symbol of the atom. And the symbol of the atom, if you go back to that one alien figure that you showed with the Star of David on it, that is, if you want to go back to that, and it's on a lot of our pieces, And so when you think about that, that Star of David, or that symbol, that's that right there, guys, that is a symbol of the atom, is what that is, if you really want to look at it.
Yeah.
And
You know what's funny also? How
Yeah.
everything relates, right? We had a guest on a couple weeks ago called the Occult's Rejects, and he used to study in the occult, and he was talking about like how everything is related to human anatomy, and like the eye, and like you
Yep.
know, and a lot of the things and occult symbols that go way back to, you know, these ancient civilizations
Yes.
relate to atoms and different
Yes.
different
Well, there you
things as
go.
well. Yep.
There's your symbol, man, on the relic you just showed.
Well,
Now,
yeah, the whole story about the Anunnaki is
isn't it interesting? Now, think about the atom that comprise the whole universe: helium and hydrogen. All of
everything is an atom. Yep.
man. Now, when we see these relics, here's what's crazy. On these relics, they are in so many ways. Let me see if I can pull this one up. They are in so many ways without dropping it. This piece here, for example, you see, I don't know if you can see that character, but he's holding the orb. It's like the coyote. Now you see a lot of stuff on this. You see DNA, the DNA code on here, which shows they were manipulating DNA. This is a heavy piece, but I'll show this and leave it up. And I don't know if you can see that, but that individual's holding the orb right there, and
Eric,
you see it so many times on these relics. You see it, where to the top, right there, he's got an orb above him. That coyote with the wings. And so you see that on so many of these relics where they're holding the orb, right? And so the crazy thing that really makes me think, when you think about the atom, and I'm going to bring you somewhere here. Okay. I was sitting on my deck, middle of the day, 2:00, and we catch a lot of craft during the day. UFO fleets we've captured during the day, pure daylight, right? Sitting out there talking to a friend. He's been on this journey through most of it. He lives right across the street, and he'll come over. And I was like, man, you got to come over and take a look at this stuff that I'm seeing. We'll just talk about it and look at my videos. We're out on the deck, and about 4 feet away from us, I posted this, an orb appears, and it's white, and it's literally just 4 feet away. But the crazy thing is, it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't dark. And we watched it float, and it floated up 4 feet away. And I'm talking to my friend. We're sitting next to you. And I just basically right then I said, did you see that? And this guy is a black belt in judo. We spar a lot and stuff like that. And my sliding glass door was open. And as we were talking on the deck, and before I could complete my sentence, I said, did you see that? He pushed me inside. And he pushed me away from the door, and I go, dude, because I've been watching this for a while. I was like, it's all right, man. Let me open the door. And he's like, no, Dave, don't open the door. Don't open the door. And he literally, I'll show you. It's funny because he was in this room, and he comes from that room in the glass sliding door in my bedroom, and he goes to the stairs here, and he's standing here at the stairs while I'm at the sliding door over here, and he's going, Dave. And he's like, don't open the door. And he literally runs down. This is a black belt in judo, runs down the stairs, heads down across to his condo, and calls me up, man. Because, I was like, what did you do? You left me, man. You left me there. But the cool thing was when he was finally able to calm down, and he came back with a friend. He goes, Dave, can I come back with a friend? He was so scared. He wanted to take a shower, man.
Oh, wow.
He's like, is there radiation? Does this get radiation on me and stuff, Dave? So he was freaking out. But the thing is, when he calmed down, I asked him, what did you see? And I know what I saw, but I asked him, what did he see? And he told me, he goes, I saw a dandelion, like a big dandelion, like the size of a softball is what he told me. That was white. And interesting enough, what I saw was kind of like a snowflake. You know how you see the diagram of a snowflake when you see it with all the things that go out on it? That's kind of what I saw. When you put them together, and I really started studying this, I looked at the God particle, I looked at the atom, and there's somewhere in between, man, what we saw.
That's so wild because
interesting enough.
Eric and I will investigate. Sometimes we'll investigate old cemeteries,
Yeah.
and we'll see light anomalies, like about, and we're out in the middle of the boonies too.
White
We go,
mist.
we'll see like, kind of the size of a balloon, like a
Right.
glowing white, and just kind of hovering.
Yeah.
And it's always very like elusive. Like, you will both see it. We'll see it with our eyes.
This is interesting. The last time I was at Ortona Cemetery, it's near Winter Haven, near Lake Okeechobee, and like what he said, it's out in the middle of nowhere. And the last time I was there, I was with my girlfriend, and we're perfect date. But we were sitting on the bench, and we're just sitting there, talking bullshit, and then we see this orb floating over this headstone, and I'm like, "What the heck?" So
See,
I
I'm
start walking up to it slowly.
Wow.
And I got within 25 yards of it, and it just dissipated.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
The interesting fact about that location is it has Native American burial mounds that date back 2,500 years. There's actually a serpent mound that's still there, and
dates back to 250 AD.
Well, they talked about the Mayans making their trip over here when they were still.
That's what me and Eric are always talking about. Like we believe the Mayans did make it to Florida.
Oh yeah, they're showing.
We believe that the reason of the activity that's going on there is that section of the cemetery I was at used to be near a half moon mound back in the early 1900s.
Wow.
They didn't know what it was.
Mound, right. Wow.
They didn't know what it was, so they dug it up and used it to build roads, and then later on they built the cemetery over it. So I think maybe those two things are clashing. I don't know. Amazing,
man. Well, what I was going to say too is when I saw the orb and thinking about that God particle in that atom, but then if you go back to the relic, right, and follow me here because it's kind of a different path.
Well, real quick before you go into this, remember exactly where you're at. We have some quick commercials we got to run. We ran a little bit over.
Man. Got to pay the bills.
Yep, that's right.
Bills. There you go.
And so just remember, hold that thought, and we'll be right back.
I'm on.
What's up? Mike and Eric from the Haunted Files here, and we got these pieces of paranormal equipment in our hand. Why is that?
Because we want to give a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, our sponsor. And you might see some of this equipment on your favorite ghost hunting shows. Is that right, Mike?
That's right, especially the Haunted Files on ParaFlixx.
And we're going to give you a special code for a discount on these devices.
That's right. So if you go to the Ghost Hunter store, you go to the website, when you check out, if you enter the code Ghost Gone Wild,
not Girls Gone Wild,
that's right, you get a discount on your purchase. So check them out. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
What's up, everybody? I'm Eric, and this is Mike from the Haunted Files. And Mike, we got something special to tell everyone, right?
We do. We have an amazing product here. This is from Haunted Happy Hour, where they make spirit-infused coffee. And what's cool about this product right here is it's the Haunted Files edition. It's a Dark Isles brew.
Yep, and it's got a blend of Irish cream, pistachio, and dark rum. A perfect blend to awaken your dark side, right, Mike?
Hell yeah, it is. And if you're feeling sluggish or you are ready to investigate all night, this is for you, man. And it is amazing tasting. And not only that, but what did ParaFlixx do for us and for the fans?
Well, you're going to get a special discount code that's on the package, and you're going to be able to get 3 months for free ParaFlixx. And who can they watch, Mike?
Well, they can watch us and all the other amazing investigators on the ParaFlixx platform. So get yours today, and make sure you check out ParaFlixx and the Haunted Files.
And if you're feeling dead inside, get caffeinated with Haunted Happy Hour.
Are you ready Ready to explore the unknown?
Eventually.
Brace yourself for a journey into the supernatural. ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, your gateway to the paranormal, all-in-one streaming service. Dare to explore, dare to believe, dare to stream alone.
It does not want us here.
Sign up now and embark on a supernatural adventure like never before. ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, the universal home of paranormal.
All right, so guys, just in case if you don't know, Eric and I have a show on ParaFlixx called The Haunted Files, where we travel around, we investigate reports of hauntings in different locations and see if we can capture that on film. And we got a new show coming out at the end of this month on the 24th.
24th, Friday.
Yep, the 24th.
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern. And it is the second part to a two-part episode where we investigated an old Masonic lodge from the 1800s with Natalie Jones and the Good Witch, Patty Negree from Ghost Adventures. So we actually do a seance, and things get pretty weird. So I'm just going to play a quick trailer, and we'll get right back to it.
Welcome to the Haunted Files. And tonight we are investigating the 1861 Masonic Lodge in Keysburg, Illinois. And tonight we got some amazing guests with us tonight. Looking forward to getting in there. We got Patty Negree, Natalie Jones. Say hi, ladies.
Hey, hey.
And
hey, everyone.
We're going to get in there, and we're going to do some different techniques and see what we can find.
Its walls have been borne witness to generations of men gathering in secrecy, bound by ritual, power, and tradition. But behind the closed doors of this former Arlington hotel, something else has taken root. Beneath the echoes of brotherhood and whispered oaths lies a dark chapter, one steeped in mystery, tragedy, and the unexplained. Locals even speak of shadowy figures that drift through the halls when the sun goes down. Disembodied footsteps echoing through the empty rooms, and chilling oppressed energy that refuses to fade with time. As night falls over Keysburg, we're stepping inside this historic lodge to confront the secrets that have been lingering for more than a century, and to uncover what still dwells within the haunted heart.
Welcome.
Hey.
Come on in.
Wow. Thank you.
1861
Yep.
Masonic Lodge.
Oh, yeah. They're here.
The kitchen right now is part of the that we ask permission. You'd love to
Yes.
Whispers.
A lot of whispers.
A lot of whispers. Exactly what the second I walked
She's
in.
very, there's a lot, that energy really is just, it really is present.
Okay, can you back away from that, please?
Light and dark are turning, luck be in the burning. Light and dark are turning, luck be in the burning. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. Mingle, mingle, mingle who may. Tout a tout tout, around and about. A world within and a world without. The good come in and the ill stay out.
All right. So yeah, check it out, guys. The second part of that is coming out the 24th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's dive back into what we had going on here. So,
Sure.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, but let's.
No worries. Loved watching it. Great stuff. Actually.
I'll bring you some coffee.
Hey, yeah, you better, man. I want some of that spook hour, man. That's great.
It's good. I hand picked it. I hand tasted it.
That's awesome stuff.
I was wigged out. I had to try 7 flavors.
Yeah. So what I was more or less talking about at the time was the orb that we saw on the deck that was like 4 feet away from us, and that it resembled like an atom to me. You know, you put together a huge dandelion and a snowflake, and you're going, "What is that?" But what I saw was, in a sense, like a God particle or an atom. Now, taking you down this road, if these relics are showing these beings with their hands up and they have this in their hands, kind of my theory took me down a road thinking, man, are they showing that they're harnessing the power of the atom? It's pretty deep thought. If they harness the power of the atom for good, and they started showing up around the 40s when we were harnessing the power of the atom for bad.
Yeah.
Think about this, right? They started going at the nuclear sites and saying, wow, okay, the primitives
That's
have
why we got
these sons
right?
these sons of bitches are gonna blow themselves up here.
Yeah. You know, and they were harnessing it for good because their relics show crystal obelisks transferring energy, stuff that maybe Nikola Tesla ran into. And, you know, where are we at now with our energy?
Yeah.
And what is energy doing? And how's it polluting? How's it warming the planet? And so when you look at all that, it's amazing, right? So I thought in my mind, wow, these things are coming to me almost like the Boogosphere thing that just came up, because it was the last thing I ever thought of, and with the relics and showing, wow, what I'll reveal to you, the same symbol we found on a relic underground, how could it have the same symbol as the Boogosphere, man? It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But probably the craziest thing we've captured out here with all the orbs, because we study 3 different types of orbs. One we call the classic orb, which only seems to appear over the ocean. We've got videos of it coming out of the ocean. We have mapped this over 2 years to where we know where they'll appear geographically in a 20 square mile area, and they only move in about a 2-hour time frame. So I was able to track them in a sense through moving through the seasons. Every night they appear, you can catch them with their visual eye, and they're messing with the airplanes. It's like the ones that the pilots and the people and the stewardess and the people, like even today, one lady, I can't remember her name, but she was on showing 3 orbs following her for 30 minutes back to their location in Arizona.
Is
where
your
they're
schedule pretty regular? Like, can you pretty much time
every
out
night, man? Every night that we're
I'm coming over.
Where you come out and you guys will see it. That's why the documentary crew had come here, and they filmed it.
Don't get my ass abducted though,
dude. We're showing it live, right? But see, I think
floating through the sky.
Here's what's crazy, Eric. I think that is an ancient biological life form that emits light through bioluminescence, comes from our oceans, okay, has higher intelligence than orcas and dolphins, in a sense, maybe higher or equal to us, but it's an ancient biological life form in a sense that has been monitoring and living on this planet.
Just imagine like how much stuff hasn't been discovered
in the oceans, right? And here's what blows your mind. These orbs never make what I call the UFO move. Okay, the UFO move is up, left, right. We all want to see that, right?
Yeah.
I've captured that. But hard left turns, you never see that from these orbs. It's always
they're mostly kind of,
you never see it, man. They appear gracefully and they float. Sometimes they'll cross each other. We got so many videos of that. But the guys with Starlink would challenge me the first year, and then when we started pulling up all the Starlink satellite trackers, and then what really was killer was we started getting videos of them reflecting on the ocean. Super bright reflections on the ocean, man, and then appearing in front of clouds. And that's when we started seeing the Blackhawks out there from the military base watching them. We tracked them, man. I can show you. I guarantee when you guys come down, I'll show you those. Now, the second orb is a surveillance orb. That's the one that during the day drops right out of the middle of the sky where people are walking on the beach, will be the size of a car, shrink down to the size of a ping pong, go through the weeds. It will pull hard left turns, rights, everything you can imagine in aerodynamics. And you just kind of know that's a surveillance orb. That if we were looking at our 5th and 6th generation fighters of what we have now, and like Lucky Palmer and Anduril, his company, and the autonomous drones going out as wingmen drones to do our dirty work without light being there. If their technology was 500 years, 1,000 years, or even 150 years more advanced, double what we have in ours, right?
Yeah, on
their technology, surveillance look like.
Yeah.
Those are my theories on what I call the surveillance drones.
Well, they say the Tic Tac aircrafts are common here on the East Coast.
Yes, I've actually captured that a few times on my 500 millimeter smart telescope as well, the Tic Tac. So I did capture the orbs up close where I've timed it, where I had my iPhone 16 and the 500 millimeter telescope, all timing it at the same second. And I've done it 12 times. And to capture them up close, I realized that the classic orb is an organic life form because every one of them wiggle on the 500 millimeter telescope. I have not showed that on my channel, man. I've only got like 140 posts on my channel. I got 2,000 some odd videos.
What pops in my head is like the luminescence that you see underwater, but popping up like.
Eric, it's so crazy you say that, man, right? Bioluminescence, light, is the #1 form of communication on the planet. There are more organisms in our sea than there is on land, way more. And they communicate through bioluminescence light. So let's consider these as an organic life form coming from our oceans. The waters are heating up. The volcanic activity is happening. The methane gases are being released. They're going into the air, okay, because the oceans are getting screwed up. They're going into the air. Maybe they're trans-medium. They can go between both. I believe they are biofluorescence, where they can go in the sky and they can soak in the sunlight. They have chameleon characteristics, like so many of our organisms on this planet we can't see. They can basically cloak themselves in a chameleon type of way where you can't see them. Doesn't mean they're ET. Doesn't mean they're an alien. But I do believe, because I'm tracking them month by month, season by season, 2 years of research, my May, June, and July shows them the same place May, June, and July over land. Why in November, December, January, they're at their farther and southern position over the Gulf where the military can watch them? Why is that 2, now 3 years, going in 3 years? Why can I track them during those months? I don't think that ET has given me his schedule, but I do believe we can track herds of animals and as they move through the season. I think this is something we have not captured. We have not tracked. If we did, we'd have put sensors and cameras on it and everything. We can't track it because it's chameleon characteristics and it has some energy source, almost like ball lightning in a sense, plasma, right? But living, does it have the ability? Those ones are different, man. I can tell you, but I've got them coming from the ocean and I've got them reflecting on the ocean. We defeated every Starlink satellite and every person we could on that issue. From there, it went to the surveillance orbs. And from the surveillance orbs, when I first recognized one was watching me in December, I had the slit over my ear 2 weeks later. Now we went in, the film documentary coming, they went in, watched me, went to the doctor. He looked at it, put a magnet up to it, said, Dave, it's strange. I'm going to have you going for x-rays. So I have my x-ray thing sitting here. I got to call him this week. My documentary wants to go in there and film it. I'm like, man, am I like this doctor?
I'm wearing earmuffs when I come see you.
Man. So, but it's crazy, man, where all this goes, because it's taken us to really the biggest thing that we saw were the portals. The portals were so huge for us. Here's one that I have, and we put vessel tracker and everything on this thing, and the pulsing energy, the size of a football field, boom, pulses up like a breathing
that over
thing.
The ocean, the
horizon? Oh yeah, man. And when our colleagues looked at this, we broke it down. There are black objects flying in and out of this thing over the ocean. This is about 5 miles out. They always appear late in the morning. The first one is October. Halloween of 2024 was a green one that appeared. But look at that, man. That's, I mean, what is that? What pulses, when I go backwards, forwards, pulses like that? If you were on a boat like that, you'd be blind, man. You know that. You'd be blind.
Yeah, I've never seen no shit like that.
No, and then when it shuts off, when it shuts off, it goes off. There's no residual light whatsoever. So how does something the size of a football field disappear like that? Now, this is on my 500 millimeter smart telescope. What is the little square thing coming out of the bottom going into the water? Okay, that was on the 500 millimeter. Now,
yeah, that's
we have, here's another one. What is the circular thing going into the water? These are big objects that are going into this, out of it, into the air, out of the air. And we've captured it 5 times, man. These are some of the other ones. The one on Halloween was a green one. Look at the black objects flying around it, the size of a football field, spinning the same way. And I narrate these, so you'll hear me on the deck. When this one showed up on Halloween and it woke me up from my bed and I went out and it was spinning and these black eyes. There was one point when it went off and I went, what in the heck just happened? And when I said that, I went back on the video data, because this is all we do. We crunch video data. We go back on it. We break it down. And what I realized was there were 3 orbs that flew right into the center of this thing. One was right into the center, and when it flew into it, that's when the object shut off. How do these things flying around, and then they fly right into the center of the energy source, boom, shuts off, and you hear me dumbfounded, and literally like 20 seconds later, I'm like,
It's like a sci-fi movie.
Dude.
It's almost like
I'm
a
like,
beacon. Like this is the beacon, and then they go in it, and then they submerge, and then it shuts off.
Yeah, I mean, look, there it is right there. What are those black discs? They're flying around it.
Yeah,
man.
like 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
and that's the horizon of the ocean, right?
I have so much raw footage of it, and so these.
I have a quick question
Sure.
for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the Betz sphere?
What is it?
Betz sphere.
I have heard of that.
Okay, so
I know
you want to check this out, right? It was like the first boogosphere. This was back in.
That's where I heard about it. Yeah.
This is like back in. I don't remember the date. I want to say in the 70s. And this is in Florida as well. This is in Gainesville area. Very wealthy family moved out there into the woods. The kids heard something like a sphere. They heard something moving. They look and they see like this glowing.
I do know that story, Mike.
And
That's
they
the one
found
where they put it on the table and it was rolling.
Yes, and it was, and it's the same.
That was the first one, man.
The first one, and it
and
was
they
the same.
confiscated it. They lost
They confiscated
it. Somebody
yeah.
took it.
And it was the same size, like the size of a bowling ball.
Wow.
And it only
it
started moving when it started moving when they were playing the guitar. That's the first time it ever. And from the vibrations, and then they would tilt the table and it would roll up the table.
Up the table.
Yep. And then so what I'm thinking here is, and then I'm watching Bob Lazar speak, and Bob Lazar starts speaking about like a metal ball the size of a bowling ball that when he entered the military and started working for them, he kind of was asking like, who am I replacing? And they didn't really want to talk about it, but I guess what happened was that he ended up, his partner kind of told him they had one of those spheres like that, and they were trying to cut it open to find out what was in it, and it exploded.
Wow.
and it killed the guy, and that's Bob Lazar came in to replace him. Man. So this is that same sphere, and so we have the one boogosphere. You have the Betz sphere. They have the one that they said that they had 2 of them in their possession as Bob Lazar, and it killed somebody by cutting into it. And then there was another boogosphere, but I don't know if that one was a hoax. There was a second one. But yeah, and they're all the same. They're all silver. They're all metallic, and they're all about the size of a bowling ball. And I don't think anybody's made that connection between the 3 of them. Going back to the Betz sphere, and the Betz house is still there. It's supposedly haunted as well.
That's amazing. Well, I'm going to blow your mind on the boogosphere info that I've been putting together. It's going to blow your minds, man.
So the sphere reacted to music.
Yeah, the Betz sphere. When they found it, they took it home and they had it sitting on the floor or whatever. And the kid was a guitar player, and he started playing the guitar, and it started moving across the floor by itself and rolling. And then it was in the news, and they had newspapers come down and write about it. It's a really, and that house. Remember Eric? The house is still there. It's supposed to be haunted. It looks like a castle.
Jacksonville.
I think it's in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That's why they're hiding the boogosphere now, man. That's why Dr.
That's that silver spear that they have out there, right?
Yes, the silver one now that they captured in Buga, Colombia, in 2025. Remember, it's moving around. It hit a power line, and when it hit and they captured all this on video of it flying around. It hit a power line, and this is the actual spear.
Oh, interesting.
So if you Google it, there's actually a great YouTube video.
I see a dandelion on there.
Those codes, man. Those codes are on all of our relics. It's so crazy that.
Well, if you look real close, it's hard because of the resolution. But if you look at it, it almost looks like a microchip.
Yes, and it's on all of. Man, I can't even tell you. When you see the museum and you see the pieces, guys, you'll be blown away because you see that same microchip on the pieces. It's amazing. In fact, here's one of the orbs that I have. One of the spheres that I have here that came out of the ground in Tula region, Mexico. It's a smaller one, but look at the chip on it.
Oh, wow.
You know that? So they all
somebody a
they
while
have that
ago.
triangle and the all-seeing eye right there. You see that? The all-seeing eye, and that we're also putting on the
Oh,
museum.
yeah.
But it's crazy when you go back to the abductions. Where me and my archaeologist now, Arturo, are pulling all the abduction stories. All the
What
sightings.
artifact gains the most attraction? Someone asked.
We're getting all the sightings from the past of people that feel like they've gotten close enough to craft to identify symbols, and we are going through that data and matching it to our relics, man.
What relics? What relics has gets the most attraction? Gains the most attraction from people.
Well, so we have. Well, yeah, I mean, we have some pieces that are magnetic pieces. We haven't actually opened the museum yet, right? So really, people haven't gotten the opportunity to really see them. But this one right here was on national TV in Mexico. Ugh, all these pieces are so heavy. But this was on national TV in Mexico, this piece here. And it's holding a plate, and it's an alien, basically. And you can see his elongated head. But the amazing thing is they're all consistent with this type of rust color, yellow, orange type of mineral and rock. And
have you heard the story of the elongated skulls they discovered in the 1900s in Lake Okeechobee?
Oh no, I haven't heard that one. Not in Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah. So it's very rare that they don't talk about it. But in the early 1900s, there was farmers that were moving into the Lake Okeechobee area, and there was a huge drought. And it said that they saw so many round things in the water, like in the real shallows, that it looked like a pumpkin patch. And they're like, "What is all this?" And they found that it was all human skulls. Wow. And this is from no scientist has ever put in the time to figure out who these people were, or how long they've been there. But they're obviously dating back to ancient times. It was some kind of a burial site or something, and they found one of the skulls was elongated, like what they see in Peru.
Wow.
And they never found.
We did an investigation on the boat there because we wanted to because there was a town that was underwater. It's underwater now. Years ago, I guess before I don't know, whatever they did with the Lake Okeechobee. There used to be a town there, and now it's submerged. So we wanted to go out there, see if there was any paranormal activity. And we did a sensory deprivation experiment, the Delcoro experiment. It's a blend of the Gansfeld experiment with the assist method through the spirit box and headphones. And everything we were getting was related to the sky and UFOs. It was just the oddest thing.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
That's the Bet sphere, same size.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't that wild?
Wow. Yeah. That is the same size, man. It's like the same size as the Boogosphere.
Yep.
Were there any inscriptions on it, or is it just smooth?
No, it's just I
don't think I remember any inscriptions on that one, which is really interesting. But as far as coming over to St. Pete Beach, guys, it's just you got to make it over here because I believe it's one of the most active hotspots for UFOs currently, and it could be with the current conditions of our planet and what's happening. And some of these things, like these portals, are activating and opening up, right? But we sent those portals to Samuel Luna from the UAP Task Force, and it was so crazy that Congresswoman Luna went on to Joe Rogan. If you guys remember that, Anna Paulina Luna. Right after that, she went on. I think it was a Fox show. With the guy, we actually have the recording, and she states that Pinellas County is a hotspot, which is my county. So that's St. Pete Beach and Clearwater. And I remember I was talking to Ben Hansen a little bit about it, and he's like, "Dave, yeah, it looks like she's respawning basically from what you sent her, just coming out 3 weeks later and saying Pinellas County is a hotspot." So that was actually receiving our portal videos that you saw, and then it was actually some daytime UFOs that we were capturing during 3i Atlas. Man, I got to talk to Avi Loeb because I got to tell you, man, our data shows when 3i Atlas was here, we had one video was mind-blowing, a fleet of 9 craft just going through the sky at like 4 in the afternoon, clear daylight. But I have so many of them that we were capturing during that time. It was mind blowing. I would say on average, guys, it was every 2 days during daytime. I was like, screw the night videos. We've captured so many nighttime videos of UFOs for a year that I switched everything to day. Everything was focused on day. And I could show you when you guys come down, you'll be mind blown. There was every 2 days. It was from fleets to, I have a craft that we call the white disc. And this white UFO disc was just even on a Saturday, man, just floating in the sky behind, watching everybody. But we got it on one move where it does an anti-gravity move like Bob Lazar talks about. And it's so mind-blowing that it just drops straight out of the sky and stops. And then it swings down like if you were to take a pinball and drop it through a curved PVC pipe and it goes shoo, shoo, like that, it just stops right there. And then it starts doing this number, then down, then straight down. And you could see it opening the air, like Bob talks about how that reverse, that anti-gravity reactor can actually manipulate, like it's opening the air around
it's like manipulating time and space all the way around it. Yeah.
And then it just slides, just like he talks about, opens it and slides. And you'll see that on this white disc. It's so mind blowing, these anti-gravity moves, man. But we were capturing things during 3i Atlas. And so I have another book we're going to turn out called UFO Escalation, The Visitors of 3i Atlas. And we're just going to show all these daytime from the fleets to the craft.
I just listened to that whole interview from I can't pronounce his last name. I don't want to butcher it. Daniel from MIT, the scientist that was the guy that was coming up with the theories that it wasn't natural. And it was like an hour long or 2 hour long of him just discussing, how he started and from being from Israel. And he was in the special forces over there. And then he came over and started working with MIT. And he was originally a physicist and different things. And when he was analyzing 3i Atlas, that it had 3 type jets coming off the back of it that were not the same as trails of particles. These were adjusted in such a way that they would be similar to boosters.
Didn't it like shoot jets at the sun? Remember when they were?
Yeah. And he was saying
what does that, man? It shoots jets at the sun. Like
it was insane. Like listening to this gentleman speak, and the way that he said he kept writing these papers, and he would hand the papers over to the publicist, and the publicist would deny them. They wouldn't put them out.
Wow.
And he was like, listen, he's like, why am I by spending all this time and writing these papers and you guys are denying them? And it was just crazy. They didn't want to put it out. And his theory was it was a Trojan horse type thing. It was made to look like a rock,
Wow.
And it was observing and altering and coming through, and it made maneuvers unrelated to gravitational pulls, and he was really going into depth explaining that when things get closer to the sun, the particles from the sun push things away from the sun. Like it doesn't pull it towards it like gravity would. It actually would push it away. And it didn't do such a thing, and just really getting into the nitty gritty and the science stuff, and some of the stuff he had me lost, the way he was talking, but it was very, very interesting. And yeah, there's definitely something to that. And now that you're saying that, when that was passing through, that was the third one that we've ever recorded, the interstellar object.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Oumuamua was the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
And this one was way stranger than that. Move faster. But holy smokes, man, just to see what I've captured on data, how you can't refute that. I mean, it's there. It's right in front of you.
The picture you just showed me where it was like orbiting and like huge pulsing light like out there. That's insane. I mean, pulsing. That's
it has
insane.
A vortex, an energy vortex that spins around every one of them. So the pulse is the orb energy source, or let's call it the portal, I guess, in the middle of that. Maybe when it's going in like that, it's pulling stuff in where they can enter it and go into another dimension. I don't know. And when it pops out, sometimes when that energy source pulses out, we'll see objects come out, which makes sense. Come in, they go in, pulse out, and the object's the black objects.
And I'm gonna throw this out there, right? Like I said, I was a boat captain. I spent probably, I don't know, more time on the water than I did on land at certain parts of my life. And I've seen them do military testing. I've seen ships with searchlights, big, huge Carlisle and Finch searchlights this big around. And I've never seen anything look like that from a horizon standpoint.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is definitely odd.
Yeah, you definitely know when you've seen so many especially being military background, different. You see so many conventional craft, and even the ones when the F-22s and the F-35s came out, and you could see how they would turn on a dime. It was just amazing. But you still hear it, you still see it. Now, obviously, we have drones come out, but they still you could tell they don't maneuver the same way and give off the energy sources that these things give off. I mean, it's just crazy. The relics, though, man, have really brought us into a whole new area because now we're able to take physical evidence. You know, again,
here's a good question.
Sure.
From Chad here, popped up on screen. Will you be hosting sky watching events to the public?
Yes, we actually do now. We did one a couple of weeks ago with Joe Fells and Arturo Hernandez. A couple of months ago, actually, it was about 35 people out there. We got it on video showing. We probably had about, I would say, close to 25 objects that night. Some of them that were just coming right off the water, about 100 feet, and there were military craft. You could see the Blackhawks out there with them as well. Now, they're kind of making their northern move right now, which is going to put them over land, like in Treasure Island, North St. Pete Beach area. And we actually have in 2024, May, June, and July, during that time, there was one incident that the police helicopter was called to go up in the air. We have it on video, and it was the Eagle helicopter from Treasure Island that was dispatched because they had 911 calls about these orbs. And so we did a MUFON investigation that came in. Mutual UFO Network actually pulled the 911 recordings, and they actually had, to the very minute, identical sighting from a different area that I had, and it was all unknown, man. But we caught the police helicopter that was chasing them, doing cat and mouse with about 30 of them. It was just amazing. So the point I'm getting to is they make a later time run. When we're in, let's see, November, December, January, you can look at all of our videos we have on it, and they're running about 8 o'clock to about 9:30 in that time range. And when they start to make their northern move with the time change, they start appearing, right now they're appearing between a 10 and 11:15. I can tell anybody in the area, Clearwater, St. Pete, go to the beach, get out there about 10 o'clock, just watch to about 11:15, and look kind of east, northeast, or northwest, I'm sorry, over towards Texas, but looking kind of like towards Louisiana. And they will see them. They'll see them. They'll appear high, but then towards the end of their time of moving, they appear low. Some of them even coming out of the ocean, man, coming out of the water or reflecting on the ocean. I love those videos where I have them reflecting light on the ocean. It's amazing. Eric
and I are going to go up that way. We haven't set the dates yet, but we're going to be up that way investigating an old schoolhouse and a historic home that has a lot of paranormal activity that's being captured up there. And maybe we could set something up where we can kill two birds with one stone.
Dude, maybe. Come on. You need to delete the maybe from the conversation, man. There ain't no way. You're coming that close. You have to.
Yeah, we gotta come up. Maybe we could do a Haunted Files episode where we do a little interview and then we see what we find.
I'll bring a hypnotherapist.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, the museum, you got to come over and see the relics and everything. We're tying into that.
Oh yeah.
I really want to put an infrared camera on the outside of the museum. I'm really thinking about this, is mounting it and then seeing as the relics go in there, seeing if the activity of the orbs start to surround the museum. Wouldn't that be crazy to be able to catch that and like live stream it and stuff like that, man? That's what we're doing. We're actually going to be live streaming, me, Arturo. We're live streaming my camera now. Everything you're seeing here, showing, you know, I'll be doing tests out there with the relics and other things, laser tests, and we're going to live stream that. And then Arturo is going to live stream his dig in Mexico with his team, 12 people out there digging constantly every day. And they're going to have their GoPros, which they already do anyhow. They've recorded this whole journey.
If you need help, I got a shovel and a GoPro.
Dude, seriously, you're more than welcome to go down there. You'll love it, man. You'll love it. We're funding them right now. So, but the one thing I want to get to you, of course, because I know you guys were probably coming towards the end. The one thing we talked about was the Boogosphere, right? The Boogosphere. So during this journey, this whole journey that I've been going through, you know, certain things have happened, like the cross you saw in the sky when Arturo was here, really just blowing our minds, thinking, gosh, there's God, there's a message, this is divine, there's a path. We're releasing this information. We believe, because people, from what I handled from the surveillance orbs and the things that we're putting together and seeing, you know, people wouldn't be able to handle the things in their mind. You'd have to be really strong. And so I think the reason why we're doing it is because people need doses of reality. They need small doses of it, because if they took it all in at once, guys, I think it would collapse our healthcare system. I think the mental state of people, there would be suicides, people would stop working, there'd be questions in religion if all they knew, like, wow, this was really happening, right? But the doses to come out and taking time, and even the doubters, you know, I did a
it's like a soft disclosure,
like a soft disclosure, man. I did a $10,000 challenge to debunkers. I went after Green Street and all these other ones that are out there just saying, oh, UFOs aren't real. And I said, dude, take my data, my video, and I sent it to them. And I said, let's do a $10,000 challenge, title company, if you're willing to put your money where your mouth is. And every single one of them had walked. I actually went after them. That's how passionate I was about it, to let people know this wasn't AI, that if you say any of my stuff's AI or a bug or a bird or a plane that I'm trying to pass off because of my flight experience, you know, military on bases all around, I know what we're looking at. I know the FAA lights. I know the signals, the signatures of even the Air Force jets. I can tell when a Black Hawk even comes close by listening to the engine, by knowing that, right? But, you know, to combine the relics has been such a blessing for us, because we believe it is a divine path, and this was meant to be. And because what we're discovering now in these relics, University of Georgia's carbon dated these relics, okay? In the testing, just the organic material around the relics is 1,750 years old and older. Then you've got people like Jaime Maussan, and you've got Sylvia from the Institute of Anthropology in Italy, who went on TV. They have all stated, and with Jaime Maussan's show, 5,000 years of age and older. Now, some of this has taken us into even older ages, 40, 45,000. We're trying to get with USF right now. In fact, I'll put the challenge out. Any anthropology team that wants to come with and work with us at the museum and test these objects, test the dirt that we have on them, please get a hold of me. You can reach out to me at UFO Webcam. You might have to do that on YouTube if I can't get to my TikTok and Instagram channel again, man, because I'm scared. I really am. Of losing those. It was crazy that after I did the post about the Boogosphere thing and the relic having the same symbols on it, and all of a sudden I can't access my accounts on TikTok and Instagram now. What's going on? Tomorrow's going to be a long day, man. I can tell you.
Yeah, I hope you get that figured out for sure.
Oh gosh, dude. Or I'll have to put everything on YouTube, man, because that's still live. And I'm just going to build that. I didn't do anything with it. I have nobody basically. But guys, the Boogosphere, let me show you here, because I know you're probably getting down to the end. This is a relic that was sent to us, and we've had quite a few, but this was a relic that was sent to us. And let me see if I can get some light on it here. And it's huge, man. This relic is basically, let me see if I can get some light on it for you. Okay, this is a 4-armed alien. Okay, and let me see if I can get a little bit of light on it. That might be too much light. But you can kind of see it. And let me turn on the light in my up here so it's brighter. I was kind of leaving a low screen so that you guys could see the orbs and stuff. But this is a piece here. So it's, oh man, it's like 80 pounds. Okay. It has, you know, 4 arms on it. And it's got all the symbols that we see what we're finding in all the relics in the Tula region and stuff like that. The all-seeing eye. But look at the corrosion on it. Guys, man cannot make that. This is very, very identifiable and goes along with the relics that are found there from the corrosion after sitting for thousands of years, you know, underground. And so what I want to show you, though, is this sphere came with it. And that was a sphere. We have the videos of every piece that we have in the museum. We have the videos of where it was found in the cavern, being dug up underground by the archaeology team. We have the actual footage. That's why we're going to be live streaming it all the time, guys, 24/7, so people can see it.
My question is, how did you get that through Mexico, like through the government?
DSL, my friend. You know what? Here's the coolest thing in the world right now. The Mexican government, just as our government, has not recognized it yet. So when you're looking at Mayan artifacts and everything, yes, you cannot take it out of the country. You cannot take pre-Mayan out or anything that's cultural to them, but they still have not recognized the alien artifacts as being real. So we had our window, and we just did regular customs DSL to take them out. But if you look at the paperwork, the Mexican government has not identified him yet. But guess what? When Trump does his release, I guarantee I'm probably thinking things are going to change, aren't they? When they
have you ever gotten someone from like an archaeological school? I know University of Florida has one to take a look at these things.
Oh yeah, I mean we have University of Georgia, so we already have the testing
That's
results.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
And we have University of Arizona. We have the National Anthropology Institute in DC that did a test on it. So actually, Washington DC did a test. We have the paperwork, and it's actually.
I mean, man, that looks like something that would be in the Smithsonian. You know,
dude, this thing right here weighs just this, like a bowling ball. This is the largest sphere we have, and it weighs like 20 pounds. But what are the chances that the same symbol? Okay, so let's look at the testing, and let's say that it's real. Let's look at the corrosion. Let's look at the way that it's a boulder that was carved. You could absolutely tell this is not ceramic here, guys. This is heavy, heavy, heavy. When you come, guys, you'll see it, and it's gonna be great when you guys can see this, touch it, feel it, and really go through the different things that we'll find that we've seen in Egypt. But let's just use our minds for a second. If this is real with the testing, and it's found everything we have, and again, this underground cavern located by LADAR, you got to look at our extraterrestrial archaeology and Arturo Hernandez on his dig and what he's been doing. He's got a book out. He's been on national TV in Mexico already. They're finding out basically that this cannot be hoax. You have 1,000-pound piece underground, that relic that we're doing on our doorway of the museum. How can 1,000-pound piece be underground 30 feet under, have to be pulled out by an excavator? You know what the cost of that is? And then that stuff's just going to sit in somebody's backyard, not sold. Nobody's getting rich on this, man, because I can tell you what I pay and what I fund on the relics just to make sure their team digs and everything. You know, we don't want to sell them. We want to expose them to the world. We're not out there to put them on. Yeah, there's some guys that are out there. There's a few guys, I won't mention names, but they have them on eBay and they're trying to sell their pieces to acquire more pieces. I know who they are, but they just buy them from everywhere. But we decided that once we locked in, we knew that we were dealing directly with that cavern, that cave that had all these pieces and the aliens on the side of the caves. How do you do a 30-foot cave underground located by LADAR, 3-year dig, and has aliens painted on the side of the cavern, man? So again, looking at the possibilities of this being real, what are the chances at the Boogosphere? Look at the Boogosphere.
We need to do a Haunted Files episode in that cavern, right, Mike?
Dude, you guys, I'll send you down there, brother. I'll send you down to Mexico. Have Arturo hook you up. He'll take you right through the site and everything. We even thought about.
I'm going to go renew my passport right now.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But again, think of the possibility. So again, if it is real, found underground in this temple, and it has that, what are the coincidences to have the same markings, these arches with the circle, these triangles with the circles? 3 of these symbols on these 12 match the Boogosphere, 3 of them. And then you look at the race who controls it, man. What does that look like to you guys?
Oh yeah,
that's an alien gray right there. So we're talking about the gray alien still dominating the earth. Now, if you want to even go farther, if I want to take the Boogosphere, okay, and you guys got to look at the video. I'll send you a link, but you got to look at the MIT work they've done on it and the University of Georgia testing on it. 12,560 years on the carbon dating, okay, and they're realizing that this object, size of a basketball, it stays the same size, but how can it change in weight? How can something the size remain at size but change to 9 pounds and down to 5 pounds and down to 4 pounds and back up? How is that possible? How does it have no seams on it and it flies? But the craziest thing is, and I was telling my fiance about this, I said, I bet that it's a probe that is monitoring our atmosphere. Before I even watched the video, I said that. Because to me, from a military standpoint, I've seen the surveillance drones, the second orbs that we study, we call surveillance drones, I told you, drop out of the middle sky, shrink down to the size of a ping pong and watch you. And you won't even know because it moves so fast. But our 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second can catch it, daylight, see it happening. That's hard to see. That's surveillance to me. But when you have a big silver metal ball floating around, but here's the crazy part, man. In those videos, they say they damaged it. And within 48 hours, it repaired itself. What type of metal has self-healing metal? So then they started to go into, this thing was made to survive extreme temperatures, cataclysm. It happened around the same time the Ice Age went into the new era, and they created it then to monitor. Like, they were talking like this thing could last forever. I told my fiance, what if this thing, because it's the way it's made, it could get into volcanoes, it can go into the Marianas Trench and our deepest depths, survive the pressures, but take monitors and readings of our atmosphere. They said it just activated. Did it just activate because we have an anomaly, South American anomaly that's getting bigger and bigger and depleting our ozone layer? We know the pole shifts are happening. We know the glaciers are melting. But now we're saying, okay, radiation's coming in. They're just saying that it's messing up our satellites and our GPS, but it's doing way worse than that, man. If we're losing an ozone, and it was a South American anomaly, I think it's grown to Africa. It's getting bigger, guys. So what if this thing is a probe that activated because of radioactivity that it sensed? Now it's airborne. Now it's monitoring our atmosphere, and now it's here for the show. The cataclysm. It knows it. It's monitoring it. We've screwed the earth up. We put enough poisons, mini plastics, microplastics, pollution in our air. It wasn't because we were using the energy of the earth and crystals and pyramids. I think it was, I think this probe is activated, man. And
So
I think
it's sending messages to other
atmospheric
beings?
conditions. Absolutely. And they actually say it in the video. The YouTube video is mind blowing. They actually said that they saw it activate, take a signal, and they were able to find another spot somewhere on Earth that was taking that signal. Isn't it interesting that we aren't allowed to go in Antarctica?
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
But let's think about this. Everything's melting. 2 billion people plus with cell phones recording everything. You can't hide anymore. When the ice melts, you can't throw a tarp over everything, man. And you're going to see there's pyramids, and you're going to see there's things that the governments can't hide. That's why they're coming out now.
They're slowly releasing info.
Yeah. And our coming disasters, they've been here watching, monitoring. I think their ray showing on these relics, a lot of them went down with the cataclysm, but some of them survived. Imagine if they were to get off the earth with the craft they have, come back, but there's a smaller number of them. What if Admiral Byrd is right? What if they did populate Antarctica and there is a big cave cavern there with a city of crystals, right? And that's where they're at. And that's where they've been monitoring us. Now they got their probe running around, man.
So maybe the probe was last running when the comet hit during the ice age.
Think about it, because we would have seen something big silver ball like that just floating around everywhere, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
How is it now we're just seeing it? And now MIT and those guys are saying it's activated. Scary to think about, man. But when I go to my mind and my research on all my data for 2 years, 2,200 videos, and I look at 100 plus of these surveillance orbs that they blink, man. The one that gave us the best evidence possible, because people have been challenging. Again, these are daytime, not night, but you see these white, looking like a little sun floating right by the sea oats in front of my house, listening and taking off up into the air. But one time, one stopped, and then it jumped, and then it blinked 20 times on us, just clear as day, blinking. And that blew my mind. I was like, what in the hell? Is it giving us a signal? I mean, but it was telling us that this is what it is. It's a phenomenon we just don't know about. But again, I have a mind that I just like you guys. I like to research to find out. Man.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I know.
Right? And
Absolutely.
you want to know. I'm 54. Before I die, I want to know before I die. And if I can pass that information on to humanity, it's just great, man. It's like I'm just sharing that wealth of knowledge, which is what I want to do. So it's been really passionate. It's been great for me. It's been a blessing. And it's just like, where does this rabbit hole, where's it going to take me now? But the theories that I have, and how the heck, man, can you have an orb come out of the ground, be shipped to me, and it has that same pattern on it?
That's mind blowing.
Now, when you think about the species, if it is real, again, we're going to all the testing, and we chart. I still have dirt on it from it. We collected it from it because the archaeologist sends it up. He doesn't clean it. We take the dirt right off of it. We bag it. So definitely, any anthropology institutes we're trying to get with USF, they've been so hard to reach, man. They never answer the phone if anybody's tried to call their department. And
we're gonna have to bring you back on, man. We went way past our time. We could go on for like
holy smokes,
4 hours,
an hour and a half. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys remember.
No, but I definitely want to have you back on.
So much to
but,
share, guys. Really, so much to share.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure to
and
be on here. And I
when
want
will
you
the
guys to come down to the Museum of the Unknown. Again, St. Pete Beach, opening May 15th.
Let's do that. Let's do that when we get once you get
come on
the
down.
once
And
you
that
get it
can be the
open.
time. I mean, you guys are in South Florida, man. It just takes 3 hours, 4 hours.
No,
to
it's
get
not a big deal.
Yeah,
we
we'll
have
come
to,
up.
we'll
We'll
get the
film.
hotel. We'll get a hotel room for you, so we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. We got it. My partner has a couple hotels on the beach. We own Sharkies. I'll put you on the glass bottom tour, dude. You get out there, you'll have a blast, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
sick. And then we can
but then you can
pull
film
my
this
arm.
stuff. I want you guys to be able to come here and look at it with your own eyes and study
Yeah,
it.
we'll come out with our gear. It'll
Bring
be
your
awesome.
gauges with you, and let's see if we can catch an orb, man.
Yeah.
You know, like
We
Ghostbusters.
would love to share it on the ParaFlixx streaming platform.
Yeah, I'd love to see the equipment you guys have, man, because I only go so far with my knowledge. I've been trying everything. You'll see lasers, frequencies.
So what are the hours of the museum once it opens? Is it?
It's going to be like 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. 10 to 9 p.m. 7 days a week, man.
Okay.
We're going to make it open.
This is the most importantly, where can people find you? Where can people find all your content? And tell us about the book and where they can get it.
Holy smokes. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. Our book is Friend or Foe. That's the first book we have. Okay. That really studies what I call the classic orbs mostly, but there are so many other, like the portals we captured and other things are on there. There's 200 QR codes. So there's actually, you could read a small chapter and then you get to watch it happen with the QR code scan in the book, Friend or Foe. The next one we're going to have coming out soon. We'll talk about it, UFO Escalation. As far as the museum itself, Museum of the Unknown, that's in St. Pete Beach. Keep track of it. And we should be open May 15th. Now, again, remember, guys, when I told you I posted about the Boogosphere today and our relic, TikTok and Instagram, I lost access to it. It's crazy because I got about close to 100,000 followers with both. It's really scaring me. I'm on YouTube at UFO Webcam. So if you guys don't see me posting on TikTok and it's just a dead account and you don't see my posts anymore, or maybe you can help me get the word out because they might have.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you can send me anything, I'll blast it all over social media on our platforms.
Dude, I really appreciate that because, man, I built up our Instagram in the last year, went up to like 66,000 in like 8 months of doing all these tests. And then our TikTok went up to about 20,000. Believe it or not, X has been banning me, man. X has got me at 300 followers, and you guys, that's a whole nother story in its own. You really think about it though, guys, who's the boss of X? You know, what does he do? Okay. So he does not want me catching his craft in the air. I promise you, because I've seen my posts get silenced on X so many times. And so we gave up on X. We got 340 followers on there. But guys, I might have to just stick on YouTube and start really posting all of our stuff on there. I think I got under 1,000 followers, man. I just didn't do anything with it.
You create a website.
Yeah, we do have Friend or Foe. It's called friendorfoedocumentary.com. So we do have that. But we're about to create our live stream now, which the orbs you've been watching all night on infrared and the other ones, man, people are going to be able to watch it 24/7.
Well, let me know when you set up so I can share
dude,
that.
Absolutely. Arturo Hernandez too. Imagine you can just switch between both of us 24/7. There's a dig site. Oh, they found something. Come back, watch the orbs, transform, turn in the scared beetles and everything else. We'll talk about that, guys. That's the next one. I have 17 theories. 17. The one that I just gave you now is on the Boogosphere and relates. I did talk a little bit about Sergeant Pennison in the Rendlesham Forest incident where they saw the craft and were finding the same symbols on our relics. Gosh, just mind blowing, guys. Awesome. Mind blowing. You got to see it for yourself.
We're definitely have to have you back.
I'm excited to have you out. I really am. Because that's what I've been wanting people to catch this live with me and see it. We've been doing
we're
it so
definitely
much
going to have to get together for sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
And hey, I want to thank you for coming out and being on our show. It was amazing.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
It was awesome.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
We're gonna definitely keep in touch. I could sit here all night and talk with you, but we definitely have to.
And I can still go without a doubt. I can still go a long time. There's so much to reveal.
Well, at least we got one person going to your museum. We got Chad.
All right, sounds good, man. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, we got a lot of people. I think I did that post and we had over 10,000 people just bookmark.
Yeah. You got a good following there, so for sure. But like I said,
very following.
Let's hope I didn't fix it off.
Yeah, no. You'll get it. You'll get it
Oh.
figured out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope
but
so.
again, thank you so much for coming on, and we love your work, and keep it up.
Thank you,
and
guys.
we'll definitely talk. God bless you, and we'll definitely see you soon.
Thank you, guys. I look forward to it.
Take care. Keep it spooky.